Hello everybody, I know here and welcome back to Higurashi no Nakukoroni, or When They Cry, whichever one you want to call it. I'm calling it by a Japanese name, because that's what I know it as. Anyway, I noticed that if you go to tips, they're not actually tips. They're more like little, like, we're mixed grade. We don't have a uniform, so, I'm not sure if I should. I think I'm gonna go ahead and read these, but not, well, yeah, I think I'll go ahead and read these really quick. So, let's go ahead and take a look at these. So Rena, we're the same age? Yes. That's right. We're the same zodiac animal, too. Hey, now, wouldn't it be weird if we were the same age but not the same zodiac animal? That's not true. If your birthday isn't the same, then you have different animals even if you're the same age. Huh? Oh, I see. Mion, you're pretty smart. What month were you born by the way, Keiji-kun? I'm July. Rena smirked and puffed up with pride. Hey, now what's the meaning of this? She's not planning to be all high and mighty if her birthday is a wee bit sooner than mine, is she? Heh, don't even. It's impossible to challenge me by birthday. I wouldn't even mind if you bet $1 per month. Huh? Why? Why? Rena panicked at suddenly being challenged to a wager. Given how panicked she is, I'm certain she doesn't have much allowance left this month. It's just, sending her into a panic about something as simple as a birthday is so fun, I can't help myself. So that means you were born in April, Kei-chan? Right on. Too bad, Rena. I'm already far older than Rena. Oh, I see. Then you're the same age as me-chan. Well, it's just a few months. That gap will open up again soon enough. Mion snickered through her nose. Hey, now that's not something to get all high and mighty about. As if I'm one to talk. Now that you mention it, you're in a higher grade, right, Mion? If you're into underclassmen, then I can be an underclassman from now on. But, Mi-chan, you're not making any sense to me. Just by seeing Rena's blushing face, you could tell she knew exactly what she meant by it, though. Then Sadako and Rika-chan are underclassmen. Their grades are so different that they should be in a different school, shouldn't they? Kei-kun, your tastes are a bit too young, I think. You're not making any sense yourself, Rena. I'll just grab onto her head and scruff it up a bit. Ah! Stop it! I wondered about it a bit before. Yeah. I was wondering why the school has different school years all mixed up. There are enough classrooms. Can't help it. This building is being rented from the forestry services after all. When she says it like that, it makes sense. I thought our school was strange for a while now. The schoolyard is gravel. There are rooms that aren't for classes. And there's some strange sort of construction machinery parked here. Why is it being borrowed? What happened to the real school? There was one here forever from before the war. It got dilapidated. They closed it down. Probably was a grand old schoolhouse. Well, because of that, the students would have to attend school in the city. That's pretty far though, you know? Which school would that be? Did you know there's a school if you pass by Okinomiya train station at the turn at the hospital and head toward the pediatrics department? What? So far? I couldn't tell where that was by the location, but I understood it was pretty far from Ren's reaction. Well, that's why. The guys that didn't want to commute to Okinomiya rented out the building from the forestry services and attended this pseudo schoolhouse here. About half the children in Hinamizawa go here. There are quite a lot of kids that come here on bike. Well, since they're attending this really messed up school, it might be pretty hard for them to get into higher education. That's not true, Mi-chan. If you study properly, you can go anywhere you want. Yeah, that's right, that's right. I totally agree with Rena on this one. Yes, that's right, that's right. Let's try our best. All of you try your best. This old man will be rooting for you. Not just us, you too. You should be preparing for exams, shouldn't you? Your future is bleak with grades like this. Fine, just fine. If I get stuck, I'll just mooch off K-chan as he works forever. What do you mean by work forever? What do you mean? Hey, you're too loud. Be quiet during self-study. The teacher yelled at all three of us. It was completely our fault. Sadako saw it and chortled haughtily. I stuck out my tongue at her in response. It is just as Mion says. The school has nothing to do with higher education, but it makes up for that by having lots of valuable things other schools don't. Ah, itchy face. We don't have a uniform. It's only June, but it's already so hot. I could hear the Higurashi outside chirping, me, me. And at night there are mosquitoes. It might as well be summer already. My only salvation is that the mornings were still cool. Summer, I do declare! Satoko was flapping her skirt languidly. That's pretty unladylike there. Even if she was a little brat, she still was a girl. Keiji does seem quite cool with just a single button-up shirt. I'm so jealous. From how I see things, the skirt you're wearing looks like it would be much cooler. A girl like you just wouldn't understand. Wearing jeans during this season and how steamy the crotch gets. It gets steamy? Yeah. This girl has gone imagining something indecent. Rena's summer clothes have a nice refreshing color. I feel cooler just looking at them. Ah ha 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 ha. Thank you. They really do feel pretty cool. I do wish my summer clothes were as breezy as Rena's. But Sadako-chan, your summer clothes are so cute being a one piece and all. I'd like to wear your summer clothes. This is actually quite stuffy, you know. I do believe what you're wearing would feel much cooler. But it would be so much more fun with cute clothes. Oh. I had a feeling that Ren and Sadako's base values were fundamentally different. Speaking of which, our school doesn't have a uniform. Yeah, it doesn't. As long as they're proper, then regular clothes are fine. There are quite a few students in regular clothes. There were a few wearing uniforms, but they were all the same design and rather plain. Oh. What's the uniform they're all wearing? They're all the same. That's the city school's uniform. It's not like there's a rule, but they're all wearing them. Speaking of which, everybody on our group is wearing a different uniform, aren't we? Did you go out of your way to get them from somewhere? Why, yes, Mion-san supplied them. Michan's relatives runs a second-hand clothing store. They can get school clothes from all over the country for cheap, they say. So you asked those relatives to get a bunch of unique school uniforms then. That Mion. She probably loves using her friends as dress-up dolls. That must be a strange second-hand clothing store. I get that it's a second-hand clothing store, but stocking clothes from schools all over the country? It's pretty strange for a second-hand clothing store. What's the point in stocking up clothes from faraway schools they know nothing about? Yeah, I think so too. They all used to have school swimsuits and PE uniforms. I don't like the idea of having used ones. Doesn't sound like the shop makes much money. They probably have Mion pitch in and help so they can make a bit more. But Mion-san says it'll be a big hit and become a great store with such conviction. A second-hand clothing store that stocks school uniforms will be a big hit. I don't get it. All right. Anyway, now that that's over with, let's get back to the actual game. Come on. Let me continue. Continue. Okay, it's loading there. Load. Yes. Okay, continue. I took it a little too easy on the morning of my day off. I was totally late. Today was the day Rena and Mion were going to show me around Hinamizawa. I always wondered, is that a real pistol? Cause she's like 16. Should she really be running around with a pistol? Whatever. Rena and Mion were already waiting in the meeting place. Okay, Chan, you're late. Sorry. The show I was watching last night was really interesting. Blame that. Ah, so that's your excuse for being late and keeping two girls waiting. Mi-chan, you just got here yourself. Last night's episode of A Day in the Life was interesting, wasn't it? She was just as guilty as me. Rena was carrying a pretty heavy-looking handbag. What is that? Mion answered my unspoken question with a wink. That's right. Rena really did make a picnic. Kei-chan, after you left, Rena pulled out all the stops. It's not like I forced her to do it. It was nothing, so don't worry about it, okay? She's been like this since last night, you know? Can you take responsibility for this? Alright. I am a man after all. I'll take responsibility. Huh? Responsibility? For what? Rena, you crazy. As we both turned around slowly to look at Rena, our gazes drifted downwards to a massive handbag she was carrying. It didn't seem logically feasible that it would be entirely filled with lunchboxes. Except this was Rena we're talking about here. About 2 kilos, I guess? With Rena, when Rena was picking it up, I could see she was struggling a bit. I say 5. You're exaggerating. Keiichi-kun is a boy after all. I thought he could probably eat a lot, so I made a lot, okay? Let's get going. Heave ho! Just from the way she was lifting it up, I couldn't believe the only thing in there were lunch boxes. Correction, I say 5 kilos too. I'll help out, but all of it needs to be eaten. I won't forgive you if you make Rena sad, got it? The only thing I could do at that moment was exercise a bit to make myself hungrier. Having finished with the pleasantries, we began our leisurely stroll, a carefree walk, bathed in the gentle morning sunlight. I couldn't have even imagined something so wholesome existed during my time in the city. These were the boonies after all. No slovenly... No slovenly desk jockeys trudging to work on the weekends out here. It really was a nice place. Peaceful and quiet. As sparsely populated as the village was, you could still run into people just by walking around. Ah, good day. Good day. Oh, you would be Mibara-kun, I believe. My two companions exchanged greetings with everybody we ran across. All of these passerbys must even knew my name. When did I become this famous? We passed 3 people, and when all 3 of them knew me, I started to feel a bit paranoid. It's a bit sad to say. Everyone knows everyone since there's so few people here in Hinamizawa. So that means when an unfamiliar face walks by, they automatically assume that it's that Maebara fella who just moved here. Yep, that's how it works out. It was a process of elimination that you could only pull off at a place like this, but it was quite effective. From now on, I'd better make sure to maintain a good reputation. The day I'm discovered accidentally gawking at a dirty magazine in the bookstore, I can expect all the villagers labeling me as a lech by the next day. Hinamizawa is not to be trifled with. Not for that reason. That's not the end of this nightmare. No, it isn't. Of course I know them. The first person we met was old Takezo from the Makino bike shop. His hobbies are bonsai and playing the flute. Next, we met the grocer's second son, Daisuke-kun. His hobby is sharpshooting, and he hopes to be an ace sniper in the future. And the person we just met was Mio-san, the nurse from the clinic. Her hobbies are birdwatching and photography. You know the names of everyone we pass by, and even their profiles? Seeing my surprise, Mion and Rena exchanged looks and burst into laughter. Well, yeah, we're not like this. We're not like the city, where people hardly know their neighbors. Then let's try it out. You there, who am I? Ah, you're Keiichi Mabara. You say some mean things, but you're actually a kind, shy person. It's been 3 weeks since you transferred here. Your hobby is taking afternoon naps. Lately, you switched over to wearing boxers, didn't you? That's enough! That's enough! Boxers? Enough of that! Apparently there's absolutely nothing you can keep hidden here. Oh, there's a lot you can keep hidden here. Hinamizawa was not a place to be trifled with. Oh, yeah. This feels more like you guys are showing me off rather than showing me around. That's right. We're parading around like around like this after all. Don't you all think so too? That Kei-chan is fitting right in here in Hinamizawa. The population in Hinamizawa is shrinking, so the villagers welcome anybody who's new here. I thought about brushing it off with something to the effect of "You're kidding me," but I held back. Had I ever greeted someone who just moved into the city like this before? Thinking about that made me believe what they said wasn't a joke at all. We passed another person. Of course, we were called out to the same way. Oh my, good day. It's wonderful seeing you getting along. This lady here is Fujishima-san. Good day. Oh my, Mabara-kun, how wonderful for you, having a lovely girl on each arm. How are you? Getting used to life here? Instead of regurgitating a prepared response like I would have in the city, I responded with an emphatic nod. The old woman chuckled, voicing her appreciation for how energetic I was. Good! As I looked back over to Rena and Mion, they gave me a wink. So then, about time to have lunch, maybe? Maybe? Rena's brilliant smile signaled the approach of an event that both Mion and I were trying to forget. We both looked at each other. I'm a man. I'll do what I can, but it's just too much. Hey, it's fine, Kei-chan. Leave it to this old man. Mion has never seemed as reliable as she does right now. I'd expect no less from the class representative. Rena, if we're going to eat, we might as well go somewhere with a good view. Ah, yes! Good idea, I agree. Rena nodded her head happily in response to Mion's proposal. Cresting the top of a stone stairway, a shrine drawn straight out of my imagination appeared before us. I'd worn down a bit through the years, but the fallen leaves had... had worn down a bit through the years, but the fallen leaves had been swept up, giving it a tidy feeling. This here is the Faraday Shrine. It's probably the place with the best view around. This place. Be sure to remember it. On our next break, a festival will be held here. Ah, isn't it a bit too early in the season for a festival? The Higurashi isn't a summer festival. Long ago, it used to be a celebration of the end of winter. I was embarrassed for assuming that festivals had to be held in the summer. Now then, spread out the lunch boxes, and there! Various colored lunch boxes were placed one after the other on top of the plastic sheet. Sure did smell delicious. It was Rena's home cooking. It went without saying that it would be delicious. But is it even possible to finish all this? Hey, Mion! It'll take more than just a good view to get all this done, you know? Good afternoon. It was Rika-chan and Satoko. Why are they here? Mion grinned over at me. I see. This was her secret plan. To power in numbers. You have my thanks, Mion. Following up with all the pieces, when all the pieces are in place, is my specialty. We just had to come when there was such a commotion. What is the meaning of this? Take a look. It's time for lunch. Buffet style. A handmade gourmet meal by Rena. I can see that much. Why have you laid out a tarp on our property? The temple is public ground. It's not yours. Keiichi's right. This is everyone's property. Wow, Rika-chan. Wow, Rika-chan is such a good girl. Have a seat. Eat with us. After opening up a spot for Rika-chan, I promptly turned my back on Sadako. Hold on 1 second. Where's my spot? No spot for you and nothing for you to eat. Don't worry, there's some for you too. None. I'll eat all of hers. I will not allow that. Rika! Here, chopsticks. Both Sadako and I leapt at the boxes, having it out with each other. Man, really? Kei-chan, you're really good at leading people on. You might have a talent for this. Have a plate. One for Michan and Rika-chan, too. Rena whipped out pairs of chopsticks and paper plates. If we don't hurry, it'll all be eaten up. That's right. Okay, shall we commence this battle? Please eat a lot. There's enough for everyone, Rena said as she opened up a thermos. Just then I realized that this lunch was made under the assumption that 5 people would be eating. It didn't change how much there was, but the implication behind it was different. I will not allow you to have this hamburger. Using your elbows against the rules, Sadako. Grabbing the back of my collar is also against the rules. It was a tough battle, blocking her with full momentum and an elbow in the opening moves. Sadako appeared to have the upper hand, but the difference in our proficiency with chopsticks proved to be fatal and gave me the upper hand. Ah, the last meatball! Sadako Hojo has been bested. Nom! Sadako and I amiably began choking at the same time, falling backwards and spasming. Rika-chan patted me on the head to clear it, even though it was actually stuck in my throat. Seeing that made Rena blush and breathe heavily in excitement. It was almost like flowers were floating all around her. Mian advised Rena to refrain from saying anything that could get her locked up. This is how our meals usually go. I'd do anything in my power, just so things could stay like this. The intense battle calmed, and finally everyone reached a point where they could begin talking. Receiving tea from the thermos, I let out a small sigh. I do wonder why there are so few words in Japanese to praise how something tastes. Isn't it because the idea of togetherness during a meal didn't begin until the modern era? It seems that long ago people ate in silence. It must have made the people preparing the food a bit sad, don't you think? It's probably because back then the people were busy even while eating and didn't have time to compliment the flavor. That's just you. But you know, just hearing that it's good makes me happy. That my effort was worth it, I mean. She blushed a little as she said that. It was delicious. With absolutely perfect timing, Rika-chan struck Rena directly with praise. She looked straight at her with an expression of bewitching innocence. After Rena uttered an unintelligible noise, a ring of smoke rose from her head with an audible poof. Rika-chan, I'm gonna take you home. No, I mean, thank you. It was really delicious. Rena flushed red with excitement, embracing Rika-chan and rubbing her cheeks against her so hard you could almost hear it. To reward Rika-chan for her praise, ta-da! These are special 2 apple rabbits. After sticking toothpicks into them, she thrust them toward Rika-chan. After Rika-chan accepted them, the mood suddenly shifted in a bizarre way. What is it, Sadako? What's with that defiant look? Has everyone prepared proper praise to receive apples from Rena-san? Don't push yourself. What kind of praise can you think up with your weak vocab? Well then, allow me to show you. After Sadako flashed Mion and me a defiant look, she changed the tone of her voice suddenly. Hey, so Rena Oni-chan's lunch? Sadako thought it was yummy too. Sadako looked up at her proudly while talking cutesy. Ah! How is that praise? That's not even persuasion by tears, that's persuasion by cuteness, isn't it? This is Rena limited special skill. This is a Rena limited special skill. She blushed and her head spun, waving around in circles. Don't fall for it, Rena! Of course, that was asking for the impossible. Rena glomped Sadako and began rubbing her cheek against her. Cute! Sadako is so cute! Take you home! Swish! Stab! Push! Sadako was also presented with apple rabbits. After stuffing them into her mouth, she looked over at Mion and me with that defiant gaze. It took her only 5 seconds to take down Rena. That's unfair to think she had such a chick. Being young helps. If it upsets you so much, why not reward Rena-san with some praise? Damn it! That was a dirty trick. First of all, that wasn't even praise. Sadako, you think you've won that, don't you? How about I show you guys something much better than your superficial gimmicks? That sounds great, Mion. What kind of trick is it? Kei-chan is going to be the one who does it. What? Ho! Why don't I have you show me then? The writhing of an old maid. The plan of attack she suggested was wicked, but it was the only thing we had to beat Sadako. Where is this going? After sipping my tea, I started talking very naturally and calmly. Perfectly. It was really good, isn't it? This is all freshly made, right? No, actually most of it, all of it was frozen stuff. Then which ones did you make fresh? Well, it's embarrassing. Do I really have to say? Must I? Then the synergy of boy plus handmade lunchbox, her expression had melted into euphoria. I already know. This one, right? Huh? Rena turned an even deeper shade of red. The words, I can't believe it, practically written on her face. How can you tell? How? That I made it. Of course, Mion had told me beforehand. It's been perfect so far. After acting like I was shy, I waited a beat. Next would be the finisher. It had your smell. Silence enveloped the area. Rena, face still completely red, froze solid. With a small yelp, Sadako even blushed. Of course I did too. I sure would like to try one of Rena's handmade apple rabbits, or something. Even if this was all because I was competing against Sadako. It felt like I had crossed the line between a good 9 yards, I think. Then, at that moment, boosh! It was a Tupperware container filled with rabbits. Please eat some Kichi-kun! There's plenty for you! Instantly, dozens of apples were shoved into my mouth, knocking me over. Okay, say, Kichi-kun! My head was forcibly laid upon her lap, and even more apples were shoved into my mouth. While she was squealing, one apple after another was forced into my mouth, more and more. Apples. How about them apples, Sadako? Looks like we win. Kei-chan, that was a beautiful sacrifice. How's that, Sadako? This is our complete victory, isn't it? I can't believe it. Such trickery. It doesn't bother me at all. Sadako ground her teeth, mortified. We did it! I claimed victory as my consciousness drifted slowly away from me. At that time, Rena stopped her squealing as she suddenly realized something. Rika-chan, you're not eating? Did the salt water make it too strong, maybe? Maybe? Looking over... Yes! Rika-chan... Yes... Looking over, Rika-chan had pulled the toothpick out of the apple rabbit, placed it into her cupped hands, and seemed to be at a loss for what to do. Poor Mr. Rabbit. I feel sorry for him. I know this is going I want to save him. Pwee! That was the sound of blood spurting from Rena's nose. Cute! Tonight, I will take you home. She shook sporadically, her head wobbling back and forth. Then, coming back to her senses, she took all of the apples around me, gathered them up with a whip, and fixed them back on a plate. Now they're all just fine, Kay. Here, I'll give them to you, Rika-chan, Kay. Rika-chan raised up Sadako's hand like a referee. After having that plate of rabbits shoved to her, she whispered, "This is our victory." You cheater! What? A comeback? Ha! Hey, has her hair. I just don't care anymore. Thus, my sacrifice ended up being in vain. Nicely done, Rika-chan. Nicely done. It was a fun-filled, crazy day, but as soon as the sun began to set, the end of the day really did come quickly. Later, Rena and Kei-chan. See you tomorrow. Thanks for today, Mion. I had a great time. See you tomorrow. Sadako and Riko-chan went home as well. We parted ways with Mion and ended up with just Rena and myself, enjoying the evening air on our way home. Thanks for coming today, Keiichi-kun. Was it fun? Yeah, lots of fun. Almost feels like a waste to go home now. Then, well, would you mind taking a little detour, maybe? Maybe? A detour? Is it far? It's a bit of a walk, but it won't take long. Since we've been walking around all day, I must have seemed a bit tired. Not feeling like teasing Rena, I quietly nodded. Traversing a small path and up a hill, the land suddenly stretched out before us. There, what looked like the remains of a dilapidated construction site came into view. A large heap of garbage spread out off towards the swamp, probably illegal dumping. I recall it being in the newspaper. Ooh, it's been quite a while. I wonder what's here. When you say it's been a while, you mean the business you had here was with this garbage pile? It's not garbage. To me, it's a pile of treasure. Rena had already entered that well-known cute mode of hers. So that means there was something cute here? Whoa, a new pile! I can't wait! She bounded up the unstable slope. I'd expect no less from a born and bred country girl. Hey, wait! I'm coming! Whoa! My city-raised self was completely pitiful. It's alright, just stay there, Keiichi-kun. It won't take long. Rena kindly declined my accompaniment. Don't fall! Watch your step! I'm fine. This is nothing at all. Literally bounding up the heap of trash, Rena disappeared over the other side. I didn't like being left behind, but I was still pretty tired from the whole day, so I ended up waiting. Without the lively Rena around, the surrounding area quickly fell into silence. The cry of the Higurashi gently cooled the air. Fairly exhausted, I began to feel a little sleepy. Just then, the sudden noise of scattering pebbles alerted me to somebody's presence. Startled, I turned around. Hey there! You look a lot pudgier than you did in the anime. Anyway, standing there was a typical-looking photographer. He spied over at me through his camera. His body was tanned and fit. Oh no, never mind, his shirt's just baggy. But something about him seemed unreliable, and he had a bit of an aloof air about him. Well, it didn't seem like he was a bad guy in any case. Whoa, you surprised me. Although startled when I turned around, he overplayed his reaction. That was my line. Now I'm the one who's surprised here. My bad, I didn't mean to startle you. Are you from Hinamizawa? I gathered that he wasn't from that question. Unfazed by my suspicious outlook, he introduced himself without my prompting. I'm Tomitake, freelance photographer. I come to Hinamizawa from time to time. I didn't ask you who you were. Quite rude to photograph someone without consent, one would think. My bad. I mainly photograph wild birds. They can't refuse, you see. So what you're saying is I'm the same as the birds? No, well, you see, that image of a young man in the twilight was just picturesque. I apologize for trying to take your picture without asking. Adults are pretty slick. All that annoyance I felt for being startled just flew away as he buttered me up. I had no intention of hanging around with this guy trying to get cozy with me, except it didn't seem like Rena would be back soon. But this older guy, Tomitake-san, he didn't mind being my cautious responses and continued rambling on by himself. Keiichi-kun, sorry to keep you waiting. I'm finished now. Rena popped her head out from one of the lower piles of garbage and waved her hand. You have someone with you? What would she be doing over there? That's what I wanted to know. Dunno. Maybe she's checking on the dismembered corpse that was out here long ago. Tomitake-san looked shaken up by that for a moment. Uh-oh. I responded like I would if I were talking with Rena and the others. It was quite a disturbing incident. They still haven't found one of the arms. And now shit gets dark. Keiichi-kun, sorry to keep you waiting. You were waiting a while, I guess. I'd best leave you two lovebirds alone. Again, my apologies for startling you, Keiichi-kun. Tomitake-san chortled suggestively, then disappeared into the twilight. Missing my chance to retort put me off a bit. Keiichi-kun, are you angry? Why, I wonder. It wasn't Rena's fault, so I decided to just brush it off for now. How was it? Find a treasure trove? Oh, yes. So listen, you see, there was a Colonel Sanders doll. A Colonel Sanders doll? Oh, that thing. The statues they always have out in front of that fried chicken place, that life-size dummy? Yes, Colonel Sanders. How cute! I want to take it home! I couldn't tell how she decided what's cute or not, but, well, she seems to want it. It's garbage, right? No one would care if you just take it home, right? It's become the base of another pile. I can't dig it out easily. There's no lamppost over there, so it'll get dark pretty soon. Rena seemed quite down about finding a treasure and not being able to bring it back. I'll help you out to repay you for that delicious picnic you prepared today. How? Thank you. Birds heading home to roost proclaimed that nightfall would soon be upon us. Keiichi-kun is going to help. I could take Colonel Sanders home. How? Rena staggered along as if intoxicated in her dreamy state of mind. I tried asking her in a way that wouldn't take her out of her cheery state. Hey, Rena, long ago, did something happen here? Seems like they were building a dam here. I don't know the details, though. Just wondering if you knew about it, you know, an incident or something. I don't know. Her tone was disturbingly frank. It sounded more like a denial than an answer. I must have appeared rather dumbstruck. Rena quickly lightened her expression. Actually, I didn't live here until a year ago. Huh? You transferred here too? I was sure that... So you see, I don't really know much from before that. Sorry. Don't really know. Don't want to talk about it. That was the kind of feeling she gave me. Thinking about it, of course it would be like that. This wasn't the type of thing girls would enjoy talking about. It was quite a disturbing incident. Seems they still haven't been able to find one of the arms. If it's just like Tomitake-san said, then I had a feeling only the Higurashi would know. Now it starts to get good. You have received new tips. The Maibara Mansion, dam site murder dismemberment, newspaper thing. Alright, so since I'm only at like 40 or so, I'm gonna go ahead and take a look at these. The Maibara Manor. So, Kei-chan, you're not stinking rich? What is this all of a sudden? Did I come to school in a limo before? How much do you get for a monthly allowance? About $10. My, that's a rather plebeian amount. His lunch is made up of normal stuff. He isn't rich. What are they talking about? To be asked out of nowhere how much I get and then told that that's a plebeian amount? Sorry. Rena seemed to pick up my dubious expression and started giggling. Kei-chan, your house, you know, it's pretty big, yeah? So the architecture has people all around Hinamizawa calling it the Maibara Manor, and it sort of stands out. Maibara Manor? Since the house is so big, everybody is gossiping, wondering exactly how rich you are. I see. Now I get it. Well, the frame of it is huge. I see how it could cause some misunderstandings. From my deduction, I wager they spent too much money on building the house, and that is why they are now broke. Being broke. How very, very unfortunate. Rika-chan took pity on me as she patted my head. I go from being treated like a millionaire to a beggar. Yeah, sorry for ruining your imagination, but we aren't millionaires or poor. We're the image of a normal, average household. You can't call it normal with that huge house. Entranceway is all grand and the gate is large enough for a large truck to get through. That's not normal at all. They do say the bigger your house, the more prosperous you are. The reason the house is so big is because Dad's studio is in it too. There are a bunch of different workshops, and lots of his works are hung in different places. All of them are huge too. For those reasons, the family actually uses only a third of the house for day-to-day living. He planned it out so people in cars could come in to see the gallery he opens up in the house someday. By the way, the entranceway Mion is talking about is the one for the studio and is normally sealed off. The entranceway the Maibara family actually uses is a very plain and simple one. The interior is much different from how it looks on the outside. I'd really like a chance to explore Kei-chan's house. Claiming not to be rich, but having a home like that? What could be hidden there? Maybe there's something cute hidden. They probably had no money to purchase furniture, so it's filled with Spartan rooms. If there are carpeted rooms, I would love to try rolling around on the floor. Ah, that'd be great, so great. I want to roll around too. So it seems their imaginations were just piling on. Well, sometime in the near future, it wouldn't be too bad to invite them all to my house. Dad is a sucker for the ladies, so he might even let them look around his studio. The cry of the Higurashi crescendoed as the sky towered over everything. It was hot, but the air was clear. It smelled like the beginning of summer. Dam site murder / dismemberment. Newspaper edition. From the June XX 1979 edition. The Shishibone City Okinomiya Police Station, June XX, late at night. Suspects, bunch of X's, were arrested on suspicion of murder and improper disposal of a corpse. Is there a proper disposal of a corpse? The main offender has been added to wanted lists nationwide. According to our sources, the 6 suspects were at the Hinamizawa Dam construction site workroom on the X at 9 p.m., where they are suspected to have assaulted and murdered the site overseer as a group, dismembering his body and hiding it. On the X at 8 o'clock in the morning, a report was filed by the Shishibone City Hospital in which a male suspect alluding to have murdered Mr. When questioned at the police station, the individual confessed to the crime. Since a portion of the body was recovered at the location he gave, he was arrested that afternoon on suspicion of murder and mutilation of a corpse. The rest of the suspects were arrested in the same day, but the main culprit is still at large. Police are currently on his trail. The motive is purported to be a drunken verbal dispute during which he killed the victim in a fit of anger. However, as there are multiple inconsistencies with their testimonies, the investigation is ongoing. Alright, so exit the tips. Let's go ahead and save here. I'm going to save over a new file here. Alright, well, that is the end of Chapter 2. Oh, things are starting to get good now. It's starting to get all dark and violent and get to the juicy bits. Oh! Not to say that the first 2 parts here were bad. This is where it gets really good. Anyway, hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead and leave a like or subscribe or just share it with a friend. That's cool too. Don't do any of those. And just leave a comment down below for anything you'd like to see me play, do, or draw. Open to all kinds of suggestions. But anyway, again, hopefully you enjoyed, because I know I did. I'm gonna keep enjoying it, and I will see you in the next episode. Later.